My presentation this morning, I will briefly explain about ADB because many of you, this maybe is the first time you heard about it, and also to introduce the Regional Cooperation Program. I will then talk about agriculture and climate change and talk about soil as carbon sink. And lastly, I will touch upon some of the empirical evidence to provide incentive for transforming the region toward more climate-friendly agriculture practices. The ADB is a multilateral financial institution based, the headquarters is in the Philippines. So this is the picture of the ADB. The ADB is owned by 67 member governments, of which 48 are developing members, 48 are the regional members, about 29 are developing member countries. Basically, we lend to governments and also lend to businesses. We have a private sector window, which are lending to grow investment that are also having social benefits and also environmental benefits. And increasingly, the private sector is lending to agriculture sector. ADB is supporting, unique for ADB, which is different than many other financial institutions of similar nature like the World Bank, is that we highlight one of the key driver of growth as the regional cooperation. And as mentioned, that this program is part of the regional integration of the Greater Mekong Subregion economic cooperation. Currently, the GMS Regional Cooperation Program has highlight 6 areas or 6 sectors to drive the integration. These are agriculture, energy, environment, human resource development, tourism, and trade and transport facilitation. For agriculture sector, the regional cooperation is guided by the Core Agriculture Support Program, which currently is on the second phase. The vision of the GMS sector is for the region to be recognized globally as leading producer of safe food, using climate-friendly practices, and integrated into the global market through economic corridors. You see the red the rectangulars on the map. On the side, this is the map of the GMS region. And the red blocks are the transport corridors. So the first decade of GMS regional cooperation, we have built many roads. And now the second phase, the country agreed that we should focus, beyond hard infrastructure into soft infrastructure, including promoting trade. And since agriculture product is the most traded products in the region, it's a very important area that we are focusing on. The vision of the GMS subregion is supported by 3 areas or 3 pillars: food safety and trade modernization, climate-friendly agriculture, and also biomass management for bioenergy and for biofertilizer. The program is founded on exchange of knowledge from research and development, for which this is one of the activities of knowledge exchange between countries in the region. We highlight that private sector involvement should be important for long-term sustainability of the activities. And we realize the need that the foundation would build on improved institutional mechanism for regional cooperation. This particular event is supported by a regional technical assistance from the Asian Development Bank. It's called the Implementing Core Agriculture Support Program. The overall budget is 14 million, for which 7.5 is from SIDA, from Sweden government, 5 million from Nordic Development Funds, 1 million from the Swiss government, and 0.5 million from ADB. The impact of this TA that is expected is the more integrated climate-friendly agriculture sector in the GMS. And the outcome is to enhance market access for environmental friendly agriculture products produced particularly by smallholder farmers. Of importance to this, okay, I think I will skip this slide. This is the general output for this TA, which the slide will be provided to you. Since this is non-essential for everyone, I will skip it. But I just want to highlight that for this workshop, yeah, we hope that in terms of the TA, because this is not only one event, eventually we will arrive at regional policies and regulatory framework on improved nitrogen cycle management and efficient use of nitrogen fertilizer and also carbon financing for the region. The program will focus on pilot investment programs to scale up climate-friendly agriculture, particularly on nitrogen cycle management. And we will conduct a lot of capacity building, like training workshop like this one, to achieve the above activities. Yeah. We all know that agriculture is very vulnerable to climate change. We are now facing longer dry seasons and drought, more floods. The temperature is increasing. Agriculture sector will face new diseases and new pests. Yeah. And anytime there is any disruption, to the climate system, we will also experience disruption to trade, transport, and distribution of input and output. Yeah. I'm not sure if our Vietnamese colleague all arrived, but last week we were talking with the official in Vietnam who was very concerned that participants may not be able to travel on Sunday because of the typhoon. But I think, we are able to come, so congratulations. Yeah. So climate change also has proven to undermine advances in poverty reduction and sustainable development. It will increase hunger and malnutrition. It also be potential for social unrest, because anytime people don't have food, they come out to the street. Yeah. Currently, our system or agriculture system is very much linked to fossil fuel. So anytime oil price increase, food price also increased. Yeah. So basically, we have fossil fuel-based agriculture. And this fossil fuel-based agriculture, on an average in terms of energy, it's consuming the energy about 50 to 100 times more than traditional agriculture. Yeah. So it is a main source of greenhouse gas emission as well. Yeah. In agriculture sector, if we look at the production alone, agriculture is responsible for 14% of greenhouse gas globally. But when we add the land use change and the burning of biomass, which the burning of biomass alone is 10% of greenhouse gas emission, this makes the agriculture sector contribute to about 35% of greenhouse gas emission. And if we look at the agriculture system as a whole, that we transport input and output, we also need to take into account the production of agrochemicals which emit greenhouse gas. If we look at the whole system, then easily agriculture is contributing to over 45%. So by changing agricultural system practices, we can greatly reduce greenhouse gas emission. Yeah. Agriculture produce or emit methane, which is from livestock enteric fermentation, and also from paddy field, because detritus that is fermenting or deteriorating in the water, emit methane. Agriculture also emit nitrous oxide from the production and also the use of chemical fertilizer in the nitrogen process. Another emission from agriculture sector is the burning of agriculture waste. This is from traditional cook stove and also from just burning agriculture waste in the field. When we look at heat trapping ability of these greenhouse gases, if carbon dioxide heat trapping ability is considered the baseline of 1 unit, methane, 1 unit of emission of methane produce 23 times more heat than carbon dioxide. Yeah. And 1 unit of emission of nitrous oxide is 298 times of carbon dioxide. Yeah. And nitrogen fertilizer, especially urea, is responsible for about 70 to 80% of nitrous oxide emission in the world. And more important is the black carbon, because actually the range of black carbon heat trapping ability is from 2,000 to 1 million times. I'm just using the term 10,000 because it's already, I think, strong enough to send the message. Yeah. But black carbon, even though it's very high heat trapping ability, the lifetime in the atmosphere is shorter. Nitrous oxide is 122 years. Yeah. So by the way. If we looked at the world carbon reservoir, this is how carbon is deposited in the world, yeah, originally. Oops, sorry. So basically, most of the carbon is reserved in the form of fossil fuel reserve. Yeah. This is, like the dead dinosaur and all those in the old time that become petroleum coal. Then the next reservoir, which people usually don't know, is the soil. Yeah. Soil is actually the second largest reservoir for carbon. Yeah. Followed by atmosphere. Yeah. This is in the air, carbon in the form of the atmospheric carbon, and also forest. Yeah. There's a lot of drive, to reforest, yeah, because I think there's a lot of movement or support from the forestry people are very active in all the international arena. Yeah, so there's a lot of recognition on forest, but not much on soil. Yeah. So until about 50 years ago, this is the deposition of the carbon in the world. But since the World War II, or maybe since the Industrial Revolution up to about 100 years ago, we have been moving the carbon into the atmosphere. We dug up fossil fuel and burn it. Yeah. We till soil, and the soil, let go of the carbon in the form of organic matters. We cut down forest. So all these carbon are accumulating in the atmosphere and causing the increase in the temperature or the climate change, greenhouse gas phenomena. So what can we do about it in the agriculture sector? Yeah. There's something called soil carbon sequestration. This is to put back the carbon into the soil. This is the process of transforming carbon dioxide into the soil, and through the crop residue and other organic solid. Yeah. It helps to offset the emission, meaning reduce the emission, and then bring down the emission into the soil. The process also has a win-win effect in enhancing soil fertility and soil productivity. And if there's more organic matter in the soil also improves soil water retention, become filter, so improving soil quality also. Yeah. And with a lot of soil organic matter, then microorganism in the soil can thrive. This is an electron micrograph of soil humus. I think we all know the importance of humus. Yeah. And this picture shows that if you look at humus, it looks like sponge. Yeah. So sponge hold water. It also cements soil. Yeah. It has many other beneficial effects to the soil, reduce soil toxicity, and reduce the acidity, also increase micronutrient availability for the plants. An increase in soil carbon stock will increase in soil fertility, decrease soil erosion, and in turn improve yield. So if you put 1 ton of soil carbon into the soil, then you can expect increase of 20 to 40 kilogram per hectare of wheat and 10 to 20 kilogram per hectare of maize. Yeah. So basically, there is a drive to transfer the atmospheric carbon into the soil. Yeah. Right now, the soil is basically half empty. The soil reservoir is half empty at this time, and there's a lot of scope to increase this soil reservoir, and the scope is much higher than in forestry. Yeah. GMS country is known to be rich in biomass. Yeah. We have rice husk, rice straw, sugarcane, maize residue, palm oil waste, wood waste, animal manure. All of these are currently underutilized and also are using in a negative way, creating greenhouse gas. So to ensure that this biomass can be, there's a lot of effort to use biomass for bioenergy, which is positive, yeah. But we should also ensure that it doesn't come at the expense of food security, yeah. Because there need to be a balance, how much biomass can be used for energy and how much should return to soil. Yeah. So we should promote soil biofertilizer and soil amendment. And the ultimate goal is to promote soil health for production of healthy food for healthy human beings. Yeah. Some of our ongoing activities that we are supporting in the project is to support biogas, yeah, for energy. But more important than biogas alone is to look at the bioslurry, yeah, which is the bioproduct of biogas. In Vietnam, we found that 70% of the bioslurry are being emitted into the atmosphere, into the environment, and is a secondary pollution. So our program is supporting the use of bioslurry as biofertilizer. We're also supporting biochar, yeah, which is the charcoal from biomass. This is produced by baking biomass at the temperature between 300 to 500 under no oxygen condition. Biochar has a structure similar to humus, so it remains stable in the soil for hundreds to thousands of years and has many properties similar to humus. Yeah. When we put biochar in the soil, you can see the effect that it improves soil fertility. Yeah. Yeah. But for farmers to be incentivized to adopt, there should be some benefit to the farmers. And we look at some empirical evidence of the difference of farmer in the same area who practice conventional agriculture and organic agriculture. So this is just an introduction of some of the empirical evidence that we found. Yeah. This was the research that I did when I was at the ADB Institute. We look at cases from wherever we can find the data. Where there were survey of conventional farmer and organic farmers next to each other. In Thailand, in China, this is in Jiangxi province. Yeah. In Sri Lanka, in Cambodia, and in Laos. Yeah. In Cambodia and Laos is the non-certified organic. And you can look at the range of crops and the different countries. When we look at profitability, we found that all the farmers in organic agriculture receive higher profitability from their organic practices. Yeah. One of the key reasons is the lower production cost, in terms of cash production input. You can see that in terms of household income, maybe the income is not that different, but the total variable cost is strikingly very different, yeah. And therefore the net profit is different. You see, the total cost for organic is only 6,900 versus 33,000. Yeah. We also found that higher profitability is in smaller farm, so it's quite pro-poor. This is data from Northeast Thailand, which shows that as the farm size increased, the profitability declined. Yeah. And this is because when it is smaller farmers, I think the household members can attend to it and they pay more attention. So the profitability is higher. This morning, the Director General mentioned about the implication to the health of the farmers. In this study, based on data from Thailand, the blue columns is the medical expenditure of conventional farmers, and the pink is the medical expenditure for organic farmers. Bear in mind that in Thailand, all farmers can go to visit the hospital and pay the same for whatever illness. They're just only 30 baht. So we did not expect the difference, because we thought that it will be neutralized, but we were very surprised to find that, at all level of household expenditure, farmers who are practicing organic farming seems to have to visit the doctor less frequently, and their medical expenditure is significantly lower. In their perception, they all said that after converting to organic agriculture, the health of the household has improved. We did a study on looking at public sector investment to move people out of poverty. The top part of the table is the existing investment. This is a World Bank study in 2002, which shows that, in general, when we want to support poverty reduction, the investment of the public sector is to invest in health, in water management, and in sanitation. It shows that to move people out of poverty, public sector will have to invest $633 to $877 per person, to move them out of poverty. We used the data from this existing 11 study. Even though the methodology is different, it shows that the public sector investment, if we promote organic agriculture, is quite limited, that the income change is quite rapid, and that public sector investment is only $32 to $38 per person to move a person out of income poverty. So this is for those who come from the public sector, from the government. This data is quite interesting to see that there are different ways, or thinking out the box of how to remove people out of poverty. So basically, the strategy of promoting soil health and biofertilizer, we look at it as an activity that hitting many birds with one stone, because it addressed the root cause of food security, meaning soil is one of the most important resource. So if we improve the health, then we can maintain the long-term food security. By the same activity, we also mitigate greenhouse gas emission, and reverse climate change. So we save not only the farmers, but also save the world in general. It is also waste, and actually it's water management. I'm sorry for the typo. And it's investing in preventive health for the population. At the same time, it also reducing poverty and inequality. So this is my last slide, and I just leave this for food for thought for all of you to discuss further in this meeting.